Hey everybody, Kyle Jensen here with the safety and training team at MasTec Advanced Technologies, and today we're going to be going over the proper way to drill into a tile wall. If you're doing a TV mount or a soundbar mount on a tile wall, we're going to go over the proper steps to get that completed. So going into that, looking at the wall here, I've got a couple markings on it. I've marked out my studs. I've got locations marked for where I want to get my the TV mount at. I used a dry erase marker to do all of that. They're a really good tool to have when you're working on tile walls. They can easily mark up the wall where you need to be. You can wipe them off with your finger or a cloth. Doesn't leave any marks left on the tile wall. So it's a good tool to have if you're when you're doing your measurements and getting everything kind of squared out for where you're going to be mounting that TV. So I already took my measurements, put the mount up there, put circles through the mounting hole brackets in that TV mount, those red circles right there. And then what I did was I taped them out with some electrical tape. You can use painter's tape as well, but when we get into the drilling process, it's good to have the tape around where your holes are going to be at. It kind of works as a backstop. That drill bit is going to want to walk up the wall as it spins. And so this is going to make that, keep a backstop. If that drill bit hits it, it's going to slow it down, let you get control of it again, and not mark up or damage the customer's wall. So getting into this and how I got all this set up, first thing I did was threw my wall mount up there, right? Did my measurements, threw it up there and marked it out, the location that the customer, would say that they wanted it to be at. The next thing I had to do was find out where my studs are at, okay? There's a couple ways to do that. You just want to get a reference point for that wall, which could be the end of the wall, right? Or if it's a bump out for a fireplace, it can still be the end of that bump out. Because even on, over fireplaces and the bump outs like that, they're still gonna have studs at 16 inches, right? That's still the typical build out on those. So you can use that end as a reference, measure in your 16. You're just gonna wanna make sure you give yourself an additional measurement for whatever kind of material that wall is. So if it was like 1/2 inch drywall, you would add a 1/2 inch to your measurement to make sure that you're still on that center point of that stud. Or if it's tile all the way around, right, this is 1/4 inch tile. So I would add that 1/4 inch onto my measurement, and then if it was on drywall or if it was just flat, I would either add only the 1/4 inch or add a 1/2 inch for the drywall if it was also on that, to make sure that I'm getting to my stud. An easier way than that though is looking for something else like an outlet on that tile wall, or somewhere where you can go off of. Nice thing with that is the outlets, if you take the cover off, you'll see that there is an outlet box around it that's holding it in there. That outlet box is going to be mounted on either side of a stud. So what I did was I just looked back here, got in a flashlight and looked on each side of the crack between the drywall and the outlet box, and I was able to see that I've got a stud right here. So there's a stud on this side of my outlet box, put that back up there. And then what I was able to do was follow my stud all the way up through into my tile wall here. And then I marked it with the dry erase marker that I have a stud right there. Then the next thing I did was take out my tape measure and measured off all the studs on this wall. So pulled that over here, 16 inches, marked the stud there, came over here, got my 16 inches, marked my other stud right there, and then just went out the other side of all the way down the wall as well to make sure I have all my studs marked, just in case I'd be moving it or whatever. So now that I have all my studs marked, and I have the location of my TV mount up here, and the location of the holes that I'll be drilling in through. For that, I've got my tape around it. We can go ahead and start drilling. Now, one of the things that we're gonna do here, we have 2 different drill bits that we're gonna be using. One, we're using this is a 3/8 tile drill bit. We're gonna be using this one in correspondence with the lag bolts that are going in here, because I know that this location right here is on a stud. So that's why I'm using that, so to make sure that we have enough, a hole big enough through that tile that stud can get through, or that our lag bolt can get through the tile and into the stud. And then over here at this location, we're going to be using our 1/2 inch tile bit. To get I'll pull that out in a second. into the toggle bolt that we're going to be using in there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Another thing that's important to have here, I've got just a small bottle of water, popped a hole in the top of it. We're going to be using this as we drill in through this tile to make sure that the bit's not getting worn up too much, it's not overheating, and then we can continuously cut through that tile with this drill bit. If you're not using the water with it, you're going to have a hard time. That drill bit's going to burn out real quick. Might even happen before you even get through your first hole. So make sure if you're using a drill bit like this one, these diamond tip tile bits, that you are using, you're keeping it lubricated with water the whole time that you're going through it. So we'll set this down right here. As I'm getting started with this, like I said, that drill bit, this bit is going to want to walk up that wall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my drill. I'm going to get it going up speed just over the tile before I'm actually, making contact with it. If you start early and try and go up to speed, it's going to want to walk up that drop. So if you're just hovering kind of over it, get it going and then put it into the tile, it's going to grip at full speed and start getting that into that tile for you. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm holding it off at about a 35-degree angle to start. After I get it going a little bit in there, I'm going to move it up to about a 45. And then once that's in there even further, I'm going to come back around and go straight on at about a 90 to complete the hole through that tile. So that being said, let's go ahead and get that done. So first we're going to get going here. About a 35. All right, coming on my 40. So now I got a good mark in there that I'll be able to get back to. We're going to go ahead and keep going. Go. All right, so gotten through our first hole here into the stud. I could feel that I hit it. I'm not going to try to drill into the stud with this bit. That's not what it's for. I am going to swap this out. Let's see. For a wood bit. So our wood bit, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get my pilot hole into the stud. All right, so we got this one prepped and ready. And then I'm going to go over here and we're gonna get the 1/2 inch done. So just like we had going on over here, I'm gonna start off on that angle, just a little bit away from the tile, then go into it and keep following that process over there, making sure to keep it lubricated with the water the whole time. So I'm not burning out the drill bit and, essentially get myself to a standstill. Before I actually get started on that, I did forget to mention this one thing here that I got, and I just remembered I had it over here. A little catch box. Just put this together from some spare cardboard that I had on the truck. I'm gonna get that situated right up under the hole we're gonna be drilling into, with just using some electrical tape to get it held together there. This will catch any of the water drip, this will catch the tile drip and stuff like that. You can see here where I didn't have that, it's going all the way down the wall and just making a total mess. So we don't have something like this up when we're doing this. We're gonna have a lot of cleanup. We could be looking at potential damages to customers' equipment and stuff if we're doing this and they have stuff down there if we haven't cleaned it away. So catch box, something really important to make sure you guys have there when you're doing this, just keeping everything clean. And again, not damaging it. If it goes down, tile the drywall, right, we're getting water on the drywall, or if they have any other equipment or anything like that down there, carpeting on the floor or anything like that, we want to make sure we minimize any kind of risk to damage for the customer's property. All right. So with that, let's get on to this one. All right, make sure we're good here. And I am through with that 1/2 inch hole. So now I'll be able to get my toggle bolt in here. Let's go ahead and take this off, dispose of this in the bucket. All right. So now that we've got that done, we finish off with our other holes here. We'll get our tape removed and put that mount up. Then we're going to swap out our drill bit again to our 1/2 inch so we can get that lag bolt in there. Set that there. We're going to get our toggle bolt in. Snap that off. All right. Washer in there. Now I'm only going to be sinking this down till I'm almost reached the tile. I don't want to use my drill to fully sink this bit, or to fully sink this lag bolt. Too much pressure on that can result in, just like with drywall, you can pop the drywall, get a nice crack going up it if you're on a seam, or just a good indent around it where the lag bolt has been too tightened. Oh, with tile, it's the same thing. You can get a crack going up that tile if you got it too tight. You know, either way, direction's all out, it can spider web around it. So we don't want to get this too tight. So I'm not gonna use the drill to fully tighten it down. I've just used it to sink it down enough where I can see I got a little bit of a gap. Back here, you can see that washer's still loose. And I'm gonna finish off hand tightening with a 1/2 inch wrench so I can really feel, you know, kind of how tight I've gotten this and make sure I'm not over tightening it. And I can feel that I got that there. Back in there. Next, gonna do the same thing with this over here. Let's get that threaded in. And I'm not gonna use the drill to tighten that, same reason. Don't wanna over tighten it and cause any damage, any cracks to that tile wall. I'm gonna use a hand tighten, just using a screwdriver here. Only takes a couple more seconds and you are minimizing potential risk to customer's wall. There we go. We're tight on that wall. Everything is good. And that's that. We can finish up wiping off of our marks on that wall. And we've mounted our TV mount to the tile wall. Hopefully this was good information for you guys out there. Thank you for watching this video. And make sure that you guys use the self-service tool if you need any more information or for more training videos. Thank you.